name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today it's another trying to fix video, and in this video we're going to be trying to fix a keyboard. At least that's what I think's in this package here. So it was up for $12.99 on eBay, but then I watched the item and the next day a message came in saying that the seller has offered a 15% discount, so I went for it. So I paid £11.04 for this, and it just says a Yamaha Mini Vintage Electronic Keyboard PSS 12 Synthesizer 40 No Sound. And then if I look at the description, it says blah blah blah, same thing again, 40 No Sound. The unit powers on, but the unit produces no sound. Some of the keys don't feel very springy. Requires 6 AA batteries not included. Mains adapter is not included. So is this worth £11.04? Absolutely not. Will it make an interesting video? Well, the very fact it hasn't got sound, I think possibly. If it was just no power, it might be just corroded battery terminals. But I think this one might make a good video, because no sound and also springy keys as well. So it looks like it might actually have two faults. So I'm sure you could probably get this working for the same price, but that wouldn't make a good video, would it? Right, let's see what we got here. There we go. Right. Now, what are they? Keys feel alright, I think. Some of them are a little bit on the bent side, but yeah, okay, I'll be honest with you, it's a horrible action, but I think it was designed like that. Okay, let's get some batteries in it and let's see what it's doing. So what we got here, headphones and DC in 10 to 12 volts, center pin positive, and that just looks like a kind of standard DC little barrel jack there. Oh, look at this. Right, so where are we putting them in? So we're putting them that way. Slide them all the way along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got a nice mix of batteries in there just to please everybody. Here we go. Power on. Right, so that's on there. And voice. Now I wonder, is it just some sort of, I hope it's not just some setting. Volume up. One touch setting. Start, stop, minus. Right, I'm presuming it should just play. Oh, so voice. So this would be piano, E piano, and it just scrolls through like that, doesn't it? Every time you press that. And then if you were to go on to song, then it would, I presume, play these. Oh, look at that! Can you see it's doing that? So let's do a different one. Yeah, and now is it flashing different? Hold on. Yeah, so look, that must sort of be the beat or the tempo, is it? I'm not too sure. Oh, well, this is good. This is good. So there's no sound, but I'm thinking there's going to be lots of different wires coming to the board, so I don't think it's going to be a speaker problem. I wonder whether there's some sort of little audio chip or something in here which has gone faulty. Okay, let's take it apart. So what we got? We just got a load of Phillips screws. We got a piece of grass in there. Do you know what? I wonder if it's been apart before. Right, there's loads of Phillips screws absolutely everywhere, all around here. So let's open it up. Right, it says here Yamaha Porter Sound, and it says Yamaha Corporation, made in Malaysia. Oh, that's annoying. Some of these are longer. What have we got here now? Right, so this is the power thing here. So we know that that's okay. Nice bit of dust here. That goes off to a speaker here. That goes off to a speaker there. So I'm thinking that that is going to be okay. What have we got here? Oh, is this one of these? Oh, one of these ferrite bead type things, you know, ferrite core or something. Right, so we don't have to worry about that. So do you think it's going to be one of these little chips here, this little chip down here, or could it be some? I mean, it doesn't look like anything's corroded. but there's no sound at all. So even if it was a problem with the keys, you would still have that sound when we go onto the song thing. Oh, look at that, 11th of December 1995. Well, what we got here, a little bit of broken. That looks like the remains of one of the keys, possibly. No, I don't know what that's from. That's very white, actually. Leave that there, in case it's important. Alright, well, let's take this board off here. Ah, there's a screw missing here, so I think somebody has been in it. Oh, and a screw missing here. Oh, no, sorry. They would be here. Oh, 1 second now. No, that's fine. They correspond to these ones here. Right, let's strip this down a little bit further. Right, well, I suppose before I do that, let's get the multimeter and let's just see if we're having if we can see an ohms reading coming from the speakers, just in case one speaker went and then the other speaker went. It is possible. Right, so that's a 4 ohm speaker, so I presume this is going to be a 4 ohm speaker as well. Yeah, 4 ohms, and I think if we were, which I'm not going to, but if we were to take that off there, should I try and take it off, see what it says? Oh, I can't see it, it's stuck, there's a little ohm symbol there. Let me try this one here. No, it's leaving too much stickiness behind, but I presume they must be 4 ohms. Right, so that means then, as long as the wires are intact, which they look like they are, in fact we can do a quick continuity test, then we definitely know it's not the speakers or the wires. So let's go between the dotted one here, which is this one. There, and this one here. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Right, so we know it's not the speakers or the wires, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted, because I didn't want this to be, I want this video to be a bit more interesting than that. Let's see if we can undo this. Oh, that's interesting. So I better be careful with that. It's a ribbon cable like that. So that's there. Can't undo. I can undo that there. Nice bit of dust. Again, nice bit of dust there as well. Let's undo the little power switch. There we go, now we've got a bit of room to work on. Can I undo this? No, that's soldered in and that's soldered in. So what's this top one again? What's this? Is this lights? No, oh, these are all the buttons, yeah, of course. Right, so it's going to be nothing to do with the buttons or anything like that. It's going to be something to do with something on here. Now let's have a look at the capacitors. None of them look bulging, do they? No, and there's no evidence of anything leaking on the board. Ah, hold on. Why have we got an LED missing here? Oh, and here as well. Oh, look, they've just chopped them out, maybe for different models. Oh, sorry, the LEDs are this side. Right, okay. Oh, we've got another chip here. We've got another Yamaha chip here. Right, the only thing I can see is that around this chip doesn't look very nice. So I'm going to get my eye loupe and have a close look at it. Let me just zoom in to show you. Can you see there? It looks a bit yellowy, but I think that's just leftover. I think that's just leftover flux. No, I'm pretty sure that that's just leftover flux residue. I've seen a little bit of kind of what looked like cardboard stuck in here, but I think it's just that, you know, when it sort of goes a bit like varnish on it. So I don't think I need to worry about that. So now, how do I do it from here? I think I need to trace back from the speakers and see where they go to. So shall we zoom in and see if we can trace the wires back? So we've got the connection here and here. Let's start with this one here, which goes to these two little contacts just here. So let's start tracing from here. So what have we got? Definitely goes to here, which is a little link that goes down to here, which goes into this chip here. So one of them goes into links to, let me just double check, links to there, and then goes into here. Right, okay. Now, let's see where this side goes. Here, around, so all the way around here. Oh, it goes everywhere. Hold on. Goes around here. Around, around. To all the way around here. So would that be the ground, I wonder? Would this all be the ground? To the middle of that transistor. Okay, let's not worry about that side, let's worry about this side here. So, here goes up to here. Oh, the headphone jack. Okay, so that goes into the headphone jack. So that must be the pin that cuts off the speakers when you put the headphone in. When you put the headphones in, it's going to cut out the speakers. Ah! Well, that's just given me an idea. Let's put the batteries in and let's see if it's working through the headphones. And then we'll have more to go on, won't we? So I've got a little speaker here.
Battery 100%.
Turn it on and plug it in. Now. Oh, we're not plugged in, are we? Oh, that's annoying. Right, let's turn it off. Sort of connection I wouldn't want to undo too much. Right, let's turn it on again. Right, so there's no sound coming out of the speaker. So it's not working via the headphone jack either. So let's unplug that. Let's turn this off. Right, I suppose what I'd have to do is, what should I do? I should. Hold on now, let me have a think. I'll have to probe around the place with... Let's probe around the place with this. And then see if I can hear the sound coming anywhere. So let's just wrap this around here. Right, let's wrap around there. And let's press that again. Right, so I'm going to wrap this bit just on, not wrap, but just touch it on here, on the ground of here, and then I'm thinking about just going round the speakers and stuff, seeing if it comes out anywhere. There's nothing there. Nothing there. So I suppose should we just trace it back? Right, well, I'm not getting anything there, but the thing is, I'm not going to get anything if, for example, this amplifier, I need to find out the pins that go into it to then amplify that. Do you see what I mean? If this is the amplifier, I need to find the pins going in, not the pins coming out of it. How do I find that out now? I think what I'm going to have to do is, I think I'm going to have to look up online what this chip is, and maybe look up this chip and this chip, and then, for example, it might have the specifications for it, in which case I might be able to get the pin out or the pin in, and then find out which one is the which is the music in. I'm thinking. So I think I'm going to do that. Right, so this is an 8-pin chip, and it says there N Malaysia C4570C 9449X0909. So I'm going to look up, see what that is. Right, I think I found the replacement. I know it's by a different company, but look, C4570. And if you have a look down here, it's a dual ultra low noise wideband operational amplifier, an op-amp. So I think this might be the thing that's faulty. And if you have a look here, this is 8-pin. You can see voltage negative and positive. So I presume the audio should be coming out of out 1 and out 2. What I'm not 100% sure about is these ones here. So if you have a look, I've got in 2 and in 1. So fine, I presume that's where the signal's going in. I don't know what this means though. LI2 and LI1. Don't know what they are. But anyway, let's. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to measure the voltage here between 4 and 8, see if I have anything. I think I'm going to put my probes on number 1 and number 7, see if I've got anything. And then if I have, it means the op-amp's probably okay. And then if I haven't, I think I'm going to go between in 1 and in 2, 3 and 5, and see if I've got it there. If I've got audio going on here with my probes, I think maybe this little op-amp is faulty. Right, so let's turn it on. Let's measure for voltage to begin with. So turn it on here, go to song there, and let's just hit one of the songs here, and this light should be flashing. Yeah, and it's flashing now. Right, so now we're going to go on to this little pin here, this 8-pin connector, and let's measure the voltage. So to begin with, I'm just going to go to the ground on my batteries, you see here. I'm going to be putting black lead to there, and let's put the red lead to pin 8, which is this one here, and let's see what it's measuring. Right, so we've got 6 volts there. I'm just going to double check now by going here, and then we'll have a better chance of making sure we've got the right one here. So we've got 6 volts there as well. Right, so that's good. So now what I think I'm going to do is, I think I am going to use this thing. Again, I've got the black. I'm going to be using the ground from here. I've got the wire connected to there, and I'm just going to be probing with this one here. Let's see if it's going to do anything. Right, so what should I go on? Should I go on to? I'll go on to out 1, which is this top one here. Turn my speakers on.
100%.
Let's strip back a bit more of this so I've got a bit more room to work with. So this is going to be the ground here, you see, and then we're going to have the left and right, or right and left, I can never remember. So ground, left and right audio, or right and left audio and ground. So let's now tap the top right one here and see if we have anything. No. Okay, let me tap this one here and see if I have anything. No, okay. Right, I'm going to go to in. So I'm going to go to in number 1, which is number 3 here. Nothing. Let me go to in number 2, which is down here. Right, doesn't appear to be anything there, does there? Right, I've got this one now. I've definitely used this one for this purpose before. See if this one makes any difference. Right, I think I am going to have to look up this chip here and see what this chip here does, and then that might give me a better idea of what's what. So I'm looking for a YMW282-F, and it looks like we've got 24 pins this side and 16 pins this side. Right, luckily I found the pinout on this website here, and if I go on, it looks like there's a load of Yamaha chips labelled up on this one, and this is the pinout here. So yeah, it does look like there is 16 pins down the bottom here, and what have we got up here? 1 to 24, yeah, and 24 pins. So it does look like it is the right one. So I suppose the ones I want to be looking at are, I'm thinking, is these. Well, I suppose we need to make sure we've got voltage going into it to begin with. So I suppose power supply +3 and +3, so I need to be looking at pins, so that's the DAC VDD and the VDD here, so I suppose I need to be looking at pins 7 and 8, which are going to be up this side here, but I think on the board they're slightly flipped round, so I haven't got a cutout on my one, but I have got a dot, so I presume the dot is going to be the same as the cutout here. Well, I don't presume, I know that the dot is going to be where pin 1 is, so I need to be looking at pins 7 and 8 there, and I think I need to be looking at these ones here, the left channel output and the right channel output, I'm thinking. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. Right, so I've just scribbled them down here, so it looks opposite to what you just seen, because obviously my chip here, that's the number 1 there, there's a little circle there, which you can see just in the top corner. Yeah. Right, so let's pop the batteries back in here and turn it on. Oh, we're already on, so let's go to that one there, and Silent Night, volume up. Right, so we've got something happening there. So now let's test for voltage to begin with, and also let's do the DAC voltage. So DAC I think stands for digital to analog converter. So I suppose it's so you can hear it coming out of the speakers. Right, now, where are we? So ground is going to be number 1 here, I'm hoping, and number 8. So let's count up 8. How am I going to do this now? 1, 2, 3. I can't really see it, if I'm honest with you. I'm going to have to zoom in more. I'll get my probes on, then I'll go out for the meter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is it this one here? Let's just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's it. Right, so we're there. Now let's zoom out, so you can see the meter. And now let's go on to number 1 here. Right, so 3 volts, excellent. So we've definitely got 3 volts feeding the chip, which I presume is right. So now we need to see the DAC. The DAC, so the DAC's going to be the one before that one. Let me zoom in again. DAC's number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's the second one, which is this one here. And it's the second one in there. Right, so now let's zoom out. See what the DAC is doing. There you go, 3 volts to the DAC as well. And that's just my shaky hand. Let's go to here. Yeah, 3 volts. Right, so there's definitely power feeding this, and the DAC's coming out. So now, what else can I check? So now I think it's sound coming out of this, left and right. So I don't know whether I need to go, whether I can use another ground. I presume I have to use the grounds here, but that's going to be very awkward to do. I'm going to get my head right in the way, and I'm going to see if there's other points that I can go to. Because, for example, I want pins 3 and 4 for the left side, and 4, 5 and 6 for the right side. So I'm just going to see where they go to on the board. Right, well, straight away, this is strange. There is no 3 and 4, look. So I'm wondering, is this just feeding on the right side? Because look, there's no 3 and 4. Is it feeding on the right side, and then the op-amp, would the op-amp be splitting that into stereo for left and right? Or are these speakers not stereo? Maybe it's not stereo. Do you need stereo on? You're not going to need stereo on a piano, are you? Yes, I suppose it's just going to be coming out of the right. That is right, isn't it? Both sounds will be coming out of the speakers at the same time. So it's not like, it's just a piano, isn't it? So you're going to have both sound out the speakers, so it's just mono. Right, so now I need to follow those second 2. As far as I can see, it's these 2 up here, because if you have a look, it just goes up to these 2. So the top one is going to be the positive, and the bottom one's going to be the negative. So I'll try it with my little speaker, and if not, do you know what, I might get my scope on here. It might be a good opportunity to mess around with the scope again. Right, so just turn my speaker on. So the bottom one is going to be the negative here. Yes, I can hear something. Woohoo! Yes! Bop, 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 bop. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Go on. Ah, now that is music to my ears. Yes! This might be fixable. Brilliant. So we have it here. So now all I have to do is see where that goes to on the other side of the board and start following it through. So let's turn this all off. That's fantastic. So we've got something. Yeah! Yes! Turn that off. Take the battery out. Now let's get fault finding. This is the bit that I enjoy more, tracing on the circuit board. Right, so we're going to be going from here and seeing where it goes to. Brilliant. Right, so I've got the batteries taken out, and where are we now? It was these two here, so they go up to, it must be these two resistors here. So I suppose we can just start going from here along, just in case, for example, the resistors are open, and then it's going to be very hard to trace because there's going to be so much jumping around. But let's just do it. So I've just got it on ohms test. Right, so that is 118 ohms, and it's labelled up as 120 if you look closely. 117, so they're okay, and it actually says 120 down there. So maybe this is going to be a little bit easier for me because if the board's labelled up. Right, so we're there now. So now we've got to go through the board again, annoyingly. So it looks like it's coming up here. So we've gone from here to here. That's joined straight onto whatever this thing is here, which is labelled up as 3.3 mH. Ah, these must be inductors. Would that be Henrys? Micro Henrys? Excellent, I think they're inductors. So we're going to that inductor and also to that inductor there, which then goes through to here. So now an inductor should be a coil, shouldn't it? So we should be, again, measuring just ohms on this one. Oh no, hold on. I think you need a special meter to measure inductance, don't you? Let's have a look. Is it going to come up? Well, I am getting something, aren't I? Let's see if that's the same. So this one here is 12. I know it's going up. Okay, but it's growing from 12 megohms. Let's go into this one. This is 2 megohms. Right, okay, well, look, let's just leave it for the time being. So from there, it then goes to here, and this one goes to here. So it goes to here. What's the component here? Right, what are these here? What are these things here? These are capacitors. These are capacitors. Let me just double check that. So from here, it goes to both legs there, and this goes to these two legs. So how's that working now? That's going up. No, that's not right. One second, is it going through that resistor down here? One, two, we've got 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. So it's the bottom 2, which are these two here. So it's then going through these resistors and through these resistors here. And I bet it works its way to here. So now let's measure these resistors, and these are 10K, I think it says. Yeah, 9K and 9K. Okay, so these resistors are good. I'm not sure whether the capacitors are good or not, but let's forget about them for the moment. So now where do we go? So now we're at the bottom here. So we're at these ones here, and that goes round into the DAC and, sorry, into the little op amp, and this one goes into the op amp. So we should be able to get the signal by going on that pin and that pin, which is, let me see now, that pin and that pin was supposed to be, these 2 pins here are, oh look, I don't think I went to look, into an Li2. Ah, right, okay, so now if I was to go across these two, I should hopefully have something. So these are these two here. Right, let's pop the battery back in. Let's get this turned on. Turn that off. So I suppose if you knew what you were doing with your scope, you wouldn't have to use something like this. You could just recognise maybe what an audio signal looks like, and it would save you having to muck around with that. Right, so now let's go to that one there, and let's go to there. So it's flashing here. So now we should have something on these two here. So let's get this and this. Turn this on. Maybe it doesn't work when you just use the ground from the batteries. Now hold on, which one was the negative? It was the bottom one. The bottom one's here, going around to here, jump into here, so this is the negative here. Right, here goes. That doesn't sound right, does it? That doesn't sound right. Let's did that turn itself off? Let's go back to here. Right, so we've got it there. Right, let's trace the signal along. Why does it keep going off like that? Let's trace the signal along. So that goes to here. Yeah. Then it goes to, where does it go to then? Here and here. Was it that way round? No, right, okay. Hold on, I'm getting a little bit confused. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Let me zoom in a bit more and let's see if we can work this out. So, the negative is going to be this one here. And that works. So then it jumps across to here and here. And that works. Then from there it goes, hold on now, from there it goes via these two inductors and it ends up here. So again, this should be right. Is that our problem? So we've got it here, but look, we haven't got it here. Is that the problem? Are those inductors faulty? It looks like they are. Am I doing that right? So we got there to there. So I should actually be able to do it on the top here. How good is this? So now, what did I say? The bottom is the negative, so now it's going to be the top. So let's go here and here. Yeah, got it there. Now, have we got it on the output of these inductors? No, we haven't. Right, does that suggest that the inductors are faulty? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsolder them and I'm going to try to plug them into my little meter, or even just with my maybe ohms test or something, I might be able to see that there's a difference between them because they're both labelled up the same. Yeah, let's pop the batteries out, let's unsolder them and see what's going to happen with them. Okay, so it's these two we want to take off. So let's use the solder sucker and try to remove them. Got my temperature set to 400 degrees Celsius. Right, they're both out. Let's test them. Right, so I've got my little component tester here. Now I'm not sure if these are going to show up here or not. It should be 3.3 mH. Hopefully this will show something. Oh, okay, well, yeah. Well, you never know, that could be the faulty one. Hopefully this might show something. It'd be unusual for both of them to go. Nah, so this might not show up. Might not show these. Right, I think I'm going to have to look online to see how to test an inductor. I thought they were just a coil. I wonder what's the likelihood of both of them failing. I would say that would be very unlikely. Well, I'm thinking they're not going to show anything on my ohms test because the otherwise I'm sure they would show something on that little meter there. But let's just double check. Nothing. And nothing. Right, well, I'm going to go online because I thought an inductor, well, I don't think I knew, an inductor's a coil, and if you actually look there you can see the symbol itself is a coil. I'm just a bit confused why both would have failed. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe, you see, maybe they haven't failed. Maybe it's just my test equipment can't show them up. So let me check on Google and see what it's saying about testing inductors. So I had a look on Google, and you do need a proper tool to test how many henries they are if you want like a proper test. But by just using a multimeter set to resistance, so reading the ohms, they should read between 1 and 11 ohms. And these are not, they're completely open. So it is just a coil of wire. So somehow the coil's been broken from the inside here. Kind of weird how both of them have gone. I hope there's nothing else in the circuit which has caused these to go, because the next ones I buy will just blow again. But what else can I do? I'm going to replace them. Hopefully it will fix it. I'm just a bit sort of concerned why both of them went, which is kind of weird. Unless maybe this chip here on the other side is pushing through too much in this. This could be faulty and it's pushing through too much power, and maybe along the way this was the weakest thing, or these overheated or something. Not too sure. Maybe they do just fail. It is just a very, very thin coil of wire wrapped around a bit of like, you know, sort of like iron or ferrite bead or something like that. So yeah, they're definitely faulty. Now I've bought 3 of them on eBay for £2.40, so they're not expensive. There's all different designs and types. I didn't really know which ones to get. I don't know how much power is going to be flowing through here, but to be honest I did just get some pretty cheap ones, but I'll see how it goes. Now I think I called it micro henry earlier. If it's a big M and a big H, it's micro henry. If it's a small M and a big H, it's milli henry. So with these ones here, it's a small M and a big H, so I need 3.3 milli henry. So they've been ordered, so I've got to wait for them to arrive and then I can put them in and we'll see whether it's working or not. Now in the meantime, I think what I'm going to do is, just because I'm curious, I think I'm going to try to take off the insulation off here just to see what it looks like on the inside and see if I can possibly see where the break in the wires are, and whether there's any opportunity to actually fix it or not. So I'm just going to do that off camera just to get the installation off, because it's going to take quite some time, and let's start filming again when we've got these opened up. Okay, this is interesting. So you can see here that you've just got a load of wire wrapped around. Unfortunately these are not repairable because this stuff here is really hard to get off. So in order to get it off you're going to have to destroy it. But look, you can see that basically it's a load of wire wrapped around all the way around, loads and loads of layers and layers and layers of thin enamelled wire. So this is what you would use to do traces. So this is like magnet wire, so it doesn't stick to each other. These are not shorting to each other because they're covered in enamel. But look, can you see at the bottom there's 2 little holes, and that's where these little legs fit into. So it does look like it's nicely made. So one in there, and then the other leg just into the one next to it. There, the 2 little holes. But look at this one here. I took this one apart much more carefully, and I just did the bottom because I thought, well, that's where it's going to fail, where it meets the legs. Now look at this. I have not dribbled, drooled or anything in here. I took the leg out and basically there's water. Look at this here. Well, not water, there's something in here. You see this stuff here is, can you see it's shiny? Let me see if I can get any of it out. Right, watch this. So put my tweezers in here. Can you see there? Can you see it spread along there? What is that about? Because I mean this was completely sealed. You know, it had all that brown stuff all the way around the bottom here. So I wondered, was this when it was made, I wonder, did water... We're talking, what was it? 1995 did the board say? Yeah, 1995, so 25 years ago. But I wonder when it was made, whether there was just water stored underneath here, and then, unless there's something, look, you can see at the bottom here. Can you see it? Like, there's a bit of a pool there, isn't there? And maybe it's just rotted through the wires. So maybe it's got nothing to do with the fact that there's been any sort of surge or anything. Maybe the components just failed because maybe it wasn't made that well and the water's just sat there, and maybe like 15 years later that was enough time for it to break its way through. Let's see if I can get this side out. No, I should have left that long. Let's just cut here. Hold on, let's just crush it with the pliers. There we go. Right, let's see now. Oh yeah, look at all the iron filings. Look at that. Well, no, that all looks normal there. So it was on that bottom bit there, which I can't find now because it's, oh, here it probably is. It's stuck to my finger. Right, let's have a look at this bit. Right, so that looks like the bottom side, so let's see if we can see anything on this side. No, that looks fine, doesn't it? Unless... Is that wet there? Yes it is, isn't it? Oh no, I'm not sure, is that just glue? Yeah, oh well, not too sure, but it definitely looked like there was some kind of liquid in there. So maybe that's why they failed. Anyway, I'm going to clean up, and then when they arrive I'll put those two in and we'll see if it's working. Now it's only about a couple of minutes later. I just want to double check how these keys actually work, just to see, is it kind of like an Xbox controller or what the setup is. Yes it is, yeah, exactly like that, look. Oh, look at that. Right, okay, well they can all do with a clean. And when it was mentioned about the springiness, I just think what actually causes that to go back? Is there a little... Is it just this here? Let's have a look under here. I think it's just a cheap design. Alright, so they're just... Let's have a look. Do they come out? They come out like that. Oh, okay, yeah, real cheap design. So nothing actually really causes it to spring back, apart from the fact that it's just plastic like that on there. So, yeah, I suppose if it had loads and loads of use, it could end up bending inwards like that. But, yeah, that's alright. That's okay, isn't it? I wonder why... Oh, that's twisted, that's why. Got to be careful here, because otherwise I'll snap them, then it really will be game over. There you go, look. You see that's in line now. And what was it, this one over here. So let's give that a twist. There. Oh, that felt like it was nearly going to break. Well, I think that will probably line up better now. And the black keys, again, are just like that. Do you know what? I'm going to give them a quick wash now just to get rid of all the dust, and I'm just going to wipe this down here. I'm just going to wipe this with a cloth. I think they already look clean. I don't want to really rub too much of the carbon away from it. Right, I'm going to give everything here a little bit of a wash, and then the next time you see this, we will be ready, hopefully, to put those 2 inductors back in, and we'll see if it starts working or not. A few days have passed now, and I've got my inductors through in the post, so let's fit them in here, and let's see if it comes to life. Now with these, it doesn't matter which way round they go, because they are just a coil of wire, and look at that, they are a perfect fit. So let's just do them one at a time. I've got my iron set to 400 degrees Celsius, and I've got quite a large tip on it to get the heat into the board. And cut the excess off. Now, do you know what I should do? I should pop one of these on my meter and see what it shows up as. So let's do it on here to begin with, and then we'll have a better idea for next time. I'll also put it on my little tester as well to see what it comes up with. Yeah, there you go. 7 ohms. So the other 2 would definitely open. Now let's pop it onto my other little tester. Yeah, there you go, it's coming up as a resistor. So this thing here doesn't actually test inductors, but at least it's showing something, isn't it? So it's thinking that the coil is a resistor. Right, let's, I should just double check the one I've put in there, because how do I know that that's not faulty? So let's just go to ohms again. Yeah, there you go, 7 ohms. Right, let's get the other one in. And I'm just going to clean up with some IPA. Okay, so there we have it, back together and looking nice and neat, and you wouldn't really know that they've been replaced. So let's put this all back together now and see if we have anything. Now I've got to make sure that these little LEDs with the points on go exactly into these holes here, because they actually come through the plastic. Yeah, they're all through, that one, and these 2 here. So now with this ribbon cable, I'll lift up this little latch here, make sure these are all nice and straight as they go in. Which they are, and now put the latch down. Hopefully that's made a connection. Now remember, some of the screws were long. Well, I've got 5 of them, and if you have a look, I've got arrows next to this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. All the others don't have arrows. So what I'm thinking is the long screws probably go in the one with the arrows, because we've got more than 5 of the other ones. Right, that's it all put back together now. Before I put batteries in it, I just want to give it a clean up because there's quite a bit of dirt around the place. Okay, that is it nice and clean. Let's pop the batteries in and let's see if the keys are actually working or not. Oh, I just heard it. I just heard it. It's working. It's working. Right, on. Oh, that's not working. That's not working. Oh, why is it doing it when I release? That's weird. Oh, here we go, the thing's just not centered. Right, look closely in here. That little rubber pad there is off center. That needs to be going straight up. Let me turn it off a minute. There we go. Now it's going straight up. Right, so now I'll have to try and get this key back down without breaking it. There we go. Now let's see if that's going to work. Yeah, nice and softly. Perfect. Right, so that one you have to hit hard. I'm going to have a look in this one now. This one's bent as well. So if you have a look in here, it's going to be hard to see. I'll just get a little torch, flashlight. There, can you see at the bottom there? It is bent. So I just need to straighten that up as well. There we go. That's popped up. Right, let's try to get that key back in. Now that one should be working perfectly as well. Let's see how many keys work at the same time. Oh, I think a lot of them work at the same time. I think when I was younger, the one I had, you could only do 2 or 3 at the same time. Excellent. Right, let's see how these things work. So that's piano. So that's going through all them. So we got guitar, electric guitar, jazz, 12 string. Well, you know what? It's okay. It's okay, and it seems like it's going to be easy enough to work out. Yeah, the tempo's working. And volume. I'm not sure what this means. Oh, it takes something out of it. Right, let me have a little mess around with it and I'll finish up the video. I am loving this fix here. I think this might have been one of my favourite fixes ever. Right, let's see if I can learn something. So there we go, the magic of editing with a bit of fast forwarding can make it almost sound bearable. And the Yamaha Portasound PS12 doesn't just have to do old-fashioned stuff, you can funk it up a bit. Check this out with a bit of bossa nova. Listen to that. I actually like that. Let's ruin it. Could be my new theme tune. loving that. So what a lovely, lovely fix. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really, really enjoyed it. This to me is the perfect fix. Little bit of cleaning on the keys and stuff, a few little things bent, but it's the detective work in finding out what the fault is. And then I love it when it's actually fixable, meaning just buying 2 inductors, so whatever it is, spending £1 or £1 something, fixing the 2 inductors, and then it makes something which is completely useless useful again. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe for more Trying to Fix videos. Take care. Bye now.